for ranking Kirby Copy Abilities, because I haven't done that yet, and I feel like I really should have. But yes, okay. The music, actually, I'll turn the music down a little bit because I don't need to be this loud, so it's mainly just to be background noise for this stuff. Even if it's not Kirby music right now anyway, which is pretty funny. Okay. Let's start from... Actually, yeah, let's just start from the beginning. I don't want to go bottom to the top. But yeah, Cutter. I like the hat design. But for the most part, I'm not huge on actually using Cutter. Also, let's just notch out a lot of tiers. I think I'll get rid of the E tier. I don't know. I don't think we need this many tiers. But yeah, as I said, I like the hat. The ability actually using it is... That may be a common theme with some of them. So for now, I'll go C. Depending on what other things end up being used, maybe it'll go higher or lower. I don't know. Power Soul's on a very similar boat. I honestly, I wasn't that big of a fan of the Forgotten Land upgrades either. For Cutter. The only problem is, that means some of them would just get an inherent boost just because of the fact they were in Forgotten Land and had upgrades, where some of them just wouldn't have that. If, for example, Sword would definitely get a boost because Morpho Sword is fucking broken. I mean, maybe... I might... Okay. For the Forgotten Land exclusive abilities here, I may rank the evolved versions as well. But yeah, okay, so Parasol. I'm kind of just rambling with future stuff. Parasol. I think Evolved is a similar boat, and I'm personally not particularly great with Parasol. At least that's underwater usage, that's nice. But there are better abilities to use. Parasol does give you the nice cute little drift though, and protection from falling objects, which is a very nice bonus. I think it goes into C as well. Ability. That's a good way of putting it. Parasol is for sure an ability. You can use it. Stone. Very, very broken defensively. Especially in the first half of the series when there was not really any other good defensive abilities. It had, oddly enough, I would say it's fallen off a little bit because there are better defensive abilities that have better offensive output as well. But it's still pretty good for a defensive ability. So it goes into A. I'm not a big fan of the hat design, but, you know. Also, I know Parasol doesn't have a hat, but I like the Parasol. Sword. It's Sword. It's your average ability. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. I think it just goes like right in the middle. I'm just kind of... It's decent, but there's better, and there's worse. You know? It's just kind of there. Now, Ice. This cool beam. That is true. I think it's actually had that cool beam for a while. But yeah. Ice. Revenge of Dreamland notwithstanding, this ability is also okay. I don't think it's bad. Again, it has decent defensive capabilities because of its block. However, you can be knocked out of that block with certain attacks. But it's okay. This would get a boost if I was going to rank Revenge of Dreamland bonuses, considering this is like the only defensive ability left in the game. But we're not going to count that because that's a ROM hack. So, for now, I think it's also going to be... Is either going to be B or C? That is true. It really did. But as I said, since that's a ROM hack, we're not going to count it. Bomb! Very fun to just throw bombs at things. Are there better options most of the time? Yeah. I'll give it that, yeah. Sometimes the bombs aren't that strong. But, you know, sometimes it's just fun to yeet bombs all the time. Also, I should mention, this is kind of just on my opinions. But, like, viability is also kind of mixed in with my opinion in some aspects. Yeah, I think it goes B. B for bomb. Okay. Hammer. Very good offensive ability. It also has a lot of good attacks with iframes, so it's also surprisingly good defensively. And very powerful. Hell, it was the ability I used versus Magolor Soul Phase 1 in the True Arena of Deluxe. And it was... I did surprisingly well, given Magolor Soul was cranked in that True Arena. Better sword. That's a good way of putting it. It's slower, but it's far more powerful and can also be used underwater, just like sword. Yeah, I think I'll go in A tier. Okay. Spark. If this was just Spark from before Return to Dreamland, I would not give a shit about it. I'll be honest. Beam would be better in every way. However, since Return to Dreamland, Spark and Plasma are, functionally speaking, the same ability. If there's Spark, there's no Plasma, and if there's Plasma, there's no Spark. They have the same attacks. So, because of that, I'm going to rank Spark and Plasma together. They are both very strong. Or at least since Return to Dreamland, they have been very strong. Obviously, well, Plasma was strong in Superstar. But it did get slightly nerfed in Superstar Ultra, but it's still pretty strong there. But yeah, I'm going to rank these two together, since, as I said, they're functionally identical nowadays. With different Kirby color. That is true. Plasma does get a slight bump because it changes Kirby's color, but ability-wise, they're the same. So I'm just going to put them next to each other. I'll put them in A with Plasma being slightly higher because of the aesthetic. Oh no, they're basically the same. Beam, classic. Funny meme too. And also, I do have a slight bias towards this. Because last time I checked, I was the world record holder for Waddle Doo Guest Star Ally speedrun in... Or the record holder for Waddle Doo Guest Star Allies run in Kirby Star Allies, so I like Beam. It's also, you know, I like the hat. Beam attack. Okay. First S tier ability, Needle. Needle is weird. I don't really know how to rank Yellow Kirby's for Beam. In older games, yes, Yellow Kirby is Beam as well. And by older games, I mean Superstar and Superstar Ultra. And also the Beam Kirby Nendoroid, which I have. So, yes, Beam is S tier. Okay, Needle. I don't really know how to rank Needle, I'll be honest. I know that upgraded Needle can do funny, meme, very strong strats against Chaos Elphilis and Forgotten Land. But I don't really know how to rank Needle. The problem with Needle is it's a very stationary ability. Outside of the one, like, rolling attack you can do. I've forgotten that. Yeah, that's fair. At least Return to Dreamland that gave it the Needle roll. But I don't really know. I never really use Needle. Like, if it's an option, I never really use it. I guess it has to go in D in that regard. Sleep. Very cute. Very good usage in Forgotten Land and Battle Royale. However, I think just on instinct, it has to be F tier because for 90% of the games, it does nothing. It is an active hindrance. As cute as the hat is, it does nothing for you in almost every Kirby game. It's not the bottom of F because of those games that it can actually do stuff in, but... yeah. Okay, Fire. A classic. Pretty strong as well, but also a classic. You can do your Hadokens and your Shoryukens and your spinning kick. And yeah. I think this is my go-to ability in Battle Royale, funnily enough. So... it is the melee equivalent of, like, Sword and Hammer, I would say. So I think I'd put it in A tier. Fire. Actually, you know what I should have done? I should have ranked this with ice, because nowadays ice has freeze's attack. Oh no, that did do everything. True! Or at the very least, it should heal you. But yeah, okay, for this, freeze. There's not really any point in using freeze, I'll be honest. Freeze is just... There's a reason that freeze and ice are now the same ability. And we'll get to... Or the reason I'm ranking that now is, yeah. It obviously has its use in being a thing that hits all around you, but yeah, no, it's not great. There's better. Fire. That is true. Freeze does have a cute outfit. But freeze is just not particularly helpful under most circumstances, since ice is generally better because it has range. Slightly more range. And as I said, I think since Return to Dreamland, freeze and ice have just been condensed into the same ability. Is burning on here? Yes, we'll get to that. So we're on fire. Fire is basically just... I think I actually consider it worse ice because it has worse defensive usage. I think it does more damage. But ice can also turn smaller enemies into projectiles so you can kick at other enemies in the distance, whereas fire doesn't really have that. It does have the fireball, which is good for mobility. But I feel like I always misjudge the distance and either hit something I shouldn't in terms of getting damaged by it at the end, or go too far. But yeah, and as for burning, that's basically the same as freeze. It's basically fire's equivalent to freeze. Although it did appear in more games instead of freeze. Freeze appeared in like what? Adventure, Nightmare in Dreamland, and Air Raid. Whereas burning appeared in the Dreamland trilogy as well as Adventure and Nightmare in Dreamland. And I think it also appeared in Canvas Curse. I think it gets the boost because it's in more games individually, but yeah, it can't really go that much higher because it's just condensed into this. Plus, as I said, I had mobility on like that. Crash. Very, very strong. However, the biggest problem with that is that, well, it kills all the enemies on the screen. You lose it when you use it, so... I think for that, I don't think it can go reasonably higher than C. It'll be high C, sure, because it's very strong, but I don't think it can go higher than C. Because it's one-time use, and yeah. Tornado. Tornado is like broken in any game that has it except Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land kind of just shit on Tornado, but Tornado is really good in almost every other game that it's in. So for that, I think I just have to give it A. It's very unwieldy until you get used to it though. I'll probably put it here because Spark and Plasma are significantly easier to use in terms of being broken. But Tornado is very strong under most circumstances. Wheel. Fantastic mobility. Cool hat. Not a very good offensive ability though. You can really tell when a level is being designed for wheel to be used. Had a neat Roboball form though, and that turned into a car, but we're not counting those. Because I haven't counted them so far. I think since it's pure, it goes new, true. I think since I, Siri, was it a lot of fun? Yeah, I'm kind of, alternating on how I'm ranking. I'm also high con over you. I said, I like the hat for wheel, and it's good mobility, but that's kind of all it's good for. Mobility. It can do decent damage, but it's very unwieldy to use against bosses, so I wouldn't recommend it. Ninja. I am not great with it, but I have seen very capable things from the ability. Plus it's fun summoning Cherry Blossom sometimes and just machine gun kunai. That's how I beat Metal General in Revenge of Dreamland, I'll be honest. But as I said, I'm not counting that. But, I mean, yeah. Not bad when you get the hang of it. High skill seems cool. Yes, high skill seems a great way to put it. Yeah, I think I'll put it B. If I get better with it, it may go higher. Mike. Mike is just better Crash. Because it has 3 uses. And it has the funny vocalization. Also, I like the hat better. Okay, Cowboy. Whip. Yeehaw. You really don't want to scroll by without saying yeehaw? But, yeah, okay. What do I think about Whip? I mean, it's neat. I like the helicopter attack with it. But yeah, no, I think it's C just because, oh. I mean, it's decent offensively. Doesn't really have much of a defensive usage, but it's okay. It's okay. Which is the best thing to say about it. It's okay. Wing. Another very good mobility ability that I am not good at. Despite my Wing Copy Ability Room training in Return to Dreamland Deluxe, I am still not good with Wing, and I don't know if I ever will be. But, you know, I think it's, yeah, as I said, really, I think for most games, it is like the mobility ability. Wing is always awkward. Yeah, that's true. It's always very awkward to use Wing. High Jump. I've heard High Jump is really strong in Adventure and Nightmare in Dreamland. But I've heard it's also not good in Return to Dreamland. Especially since nowadays its puzzles can be solved without it. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah, High Jump. If you like going Wii, it's good. It's fun to use, but it's not very good damage. I remember I watched Failboat's recent video for him getting to the ending of Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and man, right, it wasn't very good against Metal General. It's better against like aerial enemies like Crackle, but it did not do well against the Metal General, who does not in fact save you money on your car insurance. It's fun to use, but it's not practical for like bosses that aren't in the air constantly. As I said, it's great against Crackle and Adventure and Nightmare of Dreamland. I don't think High Jump's in many other... Actually, High Jump is technically in Dream Buffet, but I always forget that it's in Dream Buffet because you only get access to it if you're in like super last, which very rarely happens. UFO, super broken. UFO is super broken and very fun to just fly around with. And also I like the UFO part of it. It also has beams attack, funnily enough. UFO's yeah, I don't think I can put any UFO anywhere other than this because UFO is insanely strong and fun. And hey, Beetle. I think, okay, Beetle. The Kirby shmup. True. Except you're not locked to being a shmup like, well, you're not locked to being a shmup in an auto-scroller. You can do whatever with it. But yeah, okay, Beetle. Beetle... Actually, no, you know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna grab this. And I'm gonna grab this. There's suplex backdrop. There we go. I'm gonna grab all of these because these are similar. Very similar. Because Beetle has a lot of attacks, like a lot of throws, kind of like these three. However, it is better. Because it also has like sword attacks. Is it better? Basically. I don't think this is very grapple oriented, but it does get a lot of grab based attacks where you can grab stars and stuff and fling them at people. Or grab enemies and do lots of damage and stuff. But yeah, All of these are, I said, they're slightly different in function, but they're also very similar in function. So I think they're all going to get ranked together in, like... Because they all do great damage. But for the most part, you're not really going to be able to use them outside of... I think throw gets the advantage in all of these. Because you can throw enemies like a projectile rather than fucking suplexing them. Actually, no, I think I'm going to put Needle higher than them. Throw has slightly more utility than those three. Because, as I said, you throw enemies like projectiles, and you can throw them sort of in multiple directions. However, I do think it's better than these. Wrestler. Wrestler is basically just these three combined. Suplex is cooler. That's fair. I think I'll put suplex over backdrop here. The backdrop kind of is backdrop. Yeah. Wrestler, yeah, it's just a combination of all of these, and it's in a fighting game. And has more attacks as well. Actually, I think it's a combination of all three. Yeah, no. It has other attacks, because it's kind of Incineroar inspired, come to think about it. Like, Incineroar and Smash inspired. I think I'll go... It's... I never really used it in fighters, but it's definitely better than the other throwing abilities. It needs to be in more games. But for now, so we can actually use it against, like, enemies, and see how it does against, like, bosses and stuff. Against, not fighting game like bosses, but for now it's going to go in C tier just because we need to see it in a platformer, not a fighting game, not a platform fighter. And in BL is just like a combination of the fighting abilities and sword to an extent, not entirely, but a little bit. It's got this like rapid jab, I guess is the best way of putting it, which can also cut things like sword. It also has the throwing abilities. And it's also like... I think it's also like a lot of stupid strong moves. But also have a decent amount of iframes. I think I'll go in... It feels like a combination of sword and fighter. Which is a great way of putting it. A combination of sword and fighter. Anyway, Archer has a cooler Japanese name. The Japanese name is Sniper. But still, very, very broken. Very broken. It is a ranged ability where it can do massive damage and has an invulnerability move. So, I mean... Yeah, I think it just logically goes S tier because it's so broken. Also, the hat's kind of cool. It is significantly better than the other arrow ability. Because, yeah, Cupid is shit. I'll be honest. Cupid is ass. I hate this ability because of how bad it is. Cute hat! But my god, it's so crap to use. Like, wow, you can charge it up and you fire 3 arrows with the worst trajectory I've ever seen. And since it only appeared in, like, 1 game, it hadn't even had the chance to have multiple moves. As I said, Archer just better. It's more salty than a bowl of frosted flakes. Basically, yeah. Chef. Cook. It is better Crash because it kills all the enemies and gives you healing items if you need it. It's not better than Mike, because Mike has the multiple hits. But, and this is not as good against bosses. However, you can get a lot of health from this. So it's significantly better than Crash. And you know what? Festival is similar. There's no true. I'll rank Festival here as well. Festival is very similar to Cook. I think enemies turn to point stars, but I think you can get food off of it. Oh, let me double check, see if you can get food off of it. Okay, now it turns enemies into point stars. So no food. Point stars can be helpful if you need if you can get one up off of it though. So that makes it slightly better than Crash. Crash is like the worst of the nuke abilities. Well, nope. It's not the worst. We'll get to that later. However, it's the worst we've covered so far. It does have the rainbow feathers, which is very fun. Kirby supports gay rights. Laser. I'm gonna be honest, laser... I don't... Laser is... It's an ability, alright? It does ability things. It does ding off of 45-degree angles, but that's only useful in puzzle solving. It's not... But that's because the puzzle's been built around using laser and ding it off of it. Yeah, laser. It's in the older 2D games. I don't think laser's been in a game. No, that's laser. Copy's later. We'll get to that later. I can see it. They do have very similar headpieces though, which is fair. Fair assumption. Leaf. Another good defensive ability that, as I mentioned with Stone, kind of... I do think it's worse than Stone, because you can't, like, your invincible attack doesn't do damage. Your invincibility doesn't help you do damage here. However, it is still very strong. It does look, and also looks cool, yeah. You get the funny leaf tornado, and you can, you have the invincible block. But other than that, it's not the greatest. But it's fun. Mirror. I have no idea how to use Mirror. It looks cool, but I have no fucking clue how to use it. Mirror? Planet Robobot. It has appeared in Superstar, Superstar Ultra, and Planet Robobot. Better Beam. I don't think I can call it Better Beam because I said I have no idea how to use this. I know it has the funny reflective block, which is cool. But it's so unwieldy for me. I just don't understand. It's rather rare. Yeah. Like, whenever I'm given this ability in Superstar, I'm like, how do I use this? I don't get it. As I said, it's got the fun reflect, but I just don't understand how to use Mirror. It is a skill issue. Wow, Mirror only has 5 attacks outside of its reflect in a Planet Robobot. What the fuck? Good block. That is true. I might be thinking of Smash. Can this block be broken? That's a fun fact. Mirror was in Battle Royale, but I never used it because it was not part of the game at launch, which is when I played Battle Royale. Neutral Kirby. Yeah, there is no Kirby list or ability list. I don't understand how to use Mirror in any of the games. I said great block, but I don't understand how to do good damage without getting hurt. I think I'll put it in... I think it definitely gets carried by its block a bit. Because I just don't know how to use it. That's me, though. That's me. It also needs to be more games, so I can try and get better with it. Spear! Now, I like Spear on the Best Boy. And no matter how much I have tried, I don't know how. I'm not great with Spear either. I think my biggest problem with Spear is that its dash attack is the Spear throw, which it throws me off every time. I don't expect it to be the Spear throw. I just want it to be like a dashing spear attack, but every time I try it, I'm like, I throw a spear, I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, that. Spear Copter's fun. It's very fun if you're enhanced by wind, though. Right, that really only applies if you're playing Bandana D in Star Allies. And Bandana D does get the bonus, the fun bonus move. Yeah. I think if it wasn't for Bandana D, this would definitely be a C tier ability, but Bandana D definitely enhances it in my eyes. Saved by the D. Oh hey, water ability. It's really good. It's super strong. It doesn't have like this super good block, but it does have massive iframes on a bunch of moves. Especially like the surf. Like the surf gets amazing iframes, as does the rainbow attack. Little water in front of you. Yeah, as I said, the rainbow attack does crazy good damage. As I said, also has massive amounts of iframes, as does the surf dash. So I'm not even gonna pretend it's bad. Water is super good. Also, fun fact: water first appeared in the anime. It's definitely at least A tier, but I think I have to put it in S because I find it much better to use than hammer. Also, bonus. It enhances your water gun and allows you to surf over water rather than swim. So when you have to go into water, you get the better water gun too. Mirror now. Yo-Yo! Another ability that I just don't understand. I think it can do good damage, question mark, but I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'll give Mirror bonus points because it does give Kirby a nice color change in Superstar. I forgot about that part. I'll give it bonus points for that color change. Yeah, Yo-Yo, as I said, I don't really know how to use this ability particularly well. Right, I've never really used the ability that much. It's also only really been in 3 games, and it's not been that prominent in those 3 games. I mean, the hat's nice. I like the hat. I like the idea for Yo-Yo, but I don't know how to use it. Yeah, I think I'll put it here, just because... Oh. There's novel in Star Allies. I said, I think it can do good damage, but I don't know. I actually don't know. Bell. Very good block. That actually deals damage back to an attacker. However, the rest of its attacks feel very unwieldy to me. Like, yeah, it has the rapid jab where you just dong someone over the head repeatedly with bells, which is funny. And it has a good block, but it's definitely a very awkward ability to use, in my eyes. I never run a jet. I think this is the speedrun ability in Superstar and maybe even Planet Robobot. Yeah, greater than wing. Yeah, that's true. It also actually has a lot of grabbing attacks as well. Yeah, I think jet is greater. Also because you don't have to like rapidly tap it to keep flying. You can just hold it. Obviously, you can rapidly tap it if you want, which actually gives you bonus horizontal speed if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think so far it's the best movement ability. But obviously, I know I'm not a speedrunner for most aspects, so I'm not really the greatest with the movement abilities anyway. But yeah, actually, no, I'll put it over whip. Also, I like the actual like hat for it too. Smash. This looks like Cutter, but this is the Smash ability, which is very good. It has obviously it had multiple attacks in a game where most abilities did not. Amazing Mirror. I know it's very rare, unfortunately. It's only been in 3 games. But it's very good in all 3 of those games. Especially, I remember, actually, I don't remember if I exactly had the ninja ability or if I had Smash, but I did the airdrop attack, which is in both of them, by accident, and when I was doing the true arena of Planet Robot, and that airdrop fucking chunked. I said I did it by accident as well, but it fucking annihilated one of the bosses from half health. Like they went from half health to like almost dead. More, that's it, yeah. Smash is like it's better Cutter. It has Stone as well. So it's better than Stone because it has, more offensive abilities. It has a good block as well as the Stone. It has Hammer. I think it has to go in S tier just because it has so much variety and just defensive and offensive pressure too. It doesn't really have many range attacks outside of Final Cutter, which is a bit of an issue. But it can do massive damage and has good defense and offense. Artist. I think the Kirby ability. I guess you're not wrong. It is the Kirby ability because it's base Kirby in Smash. Okay, Artist. Very cute. Does have the ability to heal people, which is very rare among abilities. However, it's not very strong, and it's quite unwieldy. I think her best attack is the stone crafting. I think. Yeah. I think it gets points by being one of the very few abilities that can actively heal. Especially when you don't even need an enemy around to do that heal. And his hat looks pretty good. Like, Chef Kirby does get bonus points for the hat. But yeah, I think just because it's very weird for doing damage, I don't think I can go higher than B. But as I said, very good support. Adeline is better artist, but obviously that's not a copy ability, that's a character. So, yeah. Ball. I mean, it's fun when it gets going, but it's probably one of the most unwieldy abilities in the series. But it is very fun once it gets going. Of course, you're probably going to yeet yourself in a pit more often than not. Unless you know how to stop it in time. Canvas Curse. I don't even think Ball was in... Was Ball in Canvas Curse? I know Kirby's turned into a ball, but... I don't think it was... No, it's not. It's only in Kirby's Adventure in Nightmare in Dreamland. The ball, that is true. Yeah, I think just because how awkward it is, even though it's fun when it gets going, it is stupid awkward to actually use. But it is very cute. Circus. Circus is very fun and has better high jump in its moveset. And it has more attacks. I think it has more variety in its attacks. The hat's fun. Yeah, I think it will definitely be at least A tier. Obviously, you know, not the most broken ability, but it's fun and it's cute. I think Kirby gets generous iframes on some moves as well. Leaning. No, if this was just Star Allies, it was only in one game until Star Allies, so you're not wrong. Yeah, if this is just Ring in Dreamland 3, yeah, this ability would be shit. Clean does get significantly more moves in Star Allies, which is good because it makes it better. And it does get like the super attack where you can vacuum up your friends and shoot them out like fucking Luigi's Final Smash. And it does have the cool, neat cameos of the Kirby's Dream Land 3 Dream Friends. It does have the bonus utility, though, of being able to give two different elements, which many support abilities in Star Allies cannot do. It gives Bluster and Splash. Right, it's outclassed in that aspect by the Mage Sisters, but they're not here, so shh. I think just because it's good utility, I think I'll put it here. Sweep enemies. That is true, it can sweep enemies. Now we're at copy, which under 99% of, well, 98% of circumstances would be F tier, because why the fuck do you need that? However, it is good in specifically 3 situations. First in Parasol, I would say yes, because Parasol has multiple attacks and can be used under. I know, well, every ability can be used underwater in Star Allies, but Parasol can be used underwater outside of Star Allies, and it has more damaging attacks. They call it the circus throw, where it spins like the star. Yeah, copy. I said under 90% of circumstances is useless. However, there are 3 situations where it's good. If you're playing 2-player. Because then the second player can become whatever enemy they want to become. If you're in the arena in 2-player, because that shit does fucking insane damage. Like, it's crazy how much damage it does in the arena. Mainly as the helper, but it's crazy. And Milky Way Wishes, because you gain infinite access to an ability once you get the deluxe essence for it, but you cannot naturally copy abilities. So I think it's fairly saved from F tier because of those utilities, but it's definitely a low D tier ability just because of the fact that it only has 3 uses, 2 of which don't really matter if you're not playing co-op. Dr. Kirby, he will see you now. But yeah, Dev has a couple of oddball attacks, but it's very fun to do the potion making attack. Because it does, I think it also gives you iframes when, yeah, it gives you generous iframes when you're actually using the potion. Diagnose with the gate, yes, true. And, once again, it will get bonus points by virtue of the fact that it can heal. Because very rarely you can create a healing potion. Now, unfortunately, this does not apply in the rest areas between the true arena, because that would, you know, be very broken if you could do that. But you can create a healing potion during the arena if you can find a time to actually use it. Let's have some unwieldy attacks, but they are a bit better in that aspect. I think it has the syringe as well. But yeah, I think Dr. Kirby. I think I'll put it above Bomb. Also, very, very cute copy hat too. Drill. I memed on Drill for quite a while in Dream Buffet, because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get kills with this thing. It's not great unless you're fighting stationary targets. When you're fighting stationary targets, it's very awkward to get that kill. Why not just use another ability? I mean, it looks cool, but as a concept, I think it only works in 3D. And it's very awkward to use. So I think because of that, it goes into D tier. Animals better drill. Honestly, I think you're right, yeah. Esp. Esp is insanely good damage. And it has a counter. And you can completely remove your hitbox. I don't think you can do it permanently, but you can completely remove your hitbox for a period of time. Which, fun fact, makes it the only defensive move that can completely disregard at Stardream Solo S's kill, like last ditch attacks. That is the only move that can dodge it. Stone's block? No. Archer's block? No. Leaf? I don't think Leaf's in the game, but it wouldn't be able to. Ice's block? No. It just, since it completely removes your hitbox. And the fact that it's just dummy good damage too. And that's nice. I'm not great with it, but it is so good in terms of just damage and defense that I think I have to at least put it in A tier. Light. This is probably the most unnecessary copy ability in the entirety of the franchise. It is literally used in like 3 rooms to solve puzzles that you don't even need it to solve puzzles for, as long as you know where the doors are. So because it's basically a completely useless ability under most circumstances, I think it's the worst ability in the entire series. It looks cute, sure, but it doesn't even have a hat. Like, come on, man. Ugh. Magic. Magic is fun. If this owns that tier. You know what? That's a good point. Let's do that. Actually, no, you can't read that text. Because at least these two have practical uses, and like this one can do damage, and this one can heal you in some games. Whereas this one, no, completely unnecessary. Like just exists basically. Magic. Now, if this is purely Amazing Mirror, it would be with the other other 110 use abilities. However, since Squeak Squad exists, and it got more of a moveset in Squeak Squad, it actually gets to be in B tier. His attacks are fun, even if I don't entirely know how to use them. And the hat's nice too. Because, you know, Kirby with a top hat. Very cute. Basically, yeah. And I think it also still gets that that nuke attack as well in Squeak Squad. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. Magic, even just Amazing Mirror, Magic can give you a random copy. Like, yeah, sure, it's random, but it can give you a random copy ability, which means it can give you any ability in Amazing Mirror, good or bad. It can turn all enemies on screen into 1-ups. It can turn all enemies on the screen into food, which immediately makes it better cook. It can make you invincible. And it can kill all enemies on screen just outright. So it's better crash, better cook. It can make you invincible as well. So even just on that alone, it would be B tier. But then Squeak Squad actually makes it more than one-time use. Now granted, it only has 3 attacks in Squeak Squad, but those attacks are there. And it still has its super moves, where you get random call ability, or 1-ups, or healing, or invincibility, or fireworks. So yeah, I think this actually goes... I think this actually goes next to Mike. In fact, it might be better than Mike, just so they can make you invincible. And it has the extra attacks, but to make it not one-time use. So yeah, I think Magic is the best of the nuke abilities so far. Mecha. Mecha's very fun. It also has the mobility. It has the fun jetting aspect of Jet, where you can just like kind of fly. Obviously, it's only been in one game, but it's very fun. I like doing the dash attack into charged laser. And the best part is you can store that laser for later too. So yeah, I think it goes in A tier. Yeah. Missile. Another movement ability, a little bit difficult to use. It's a bit too fast. It does also appear in a Canvas Curse, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know how to use any Canvas Curse abilities. Or Shadowing's a literary device in which... But yeah, it's good at movement. I think speedrunners use it in Amazing Mirror. But they can do it okay damage, but it's not the greatest at doing damage. No, I think I like Wheel better, because Wheel has a better hat. Paint. Okay, I think Paint is objectively the worst screen clearing ability. It looks cool, I like the hat, and it does have funny use against one boss. Actually, no, 2 bosses. It has practical use against 2 bosses. But it doesn't really do that much damage when you can use it. Artist is basically just Paint if it was a full-fledged ability. Actually, I think Artist gets the Paint attack as a move in his ability. Hold on. Oh my god, it actually does. Yeah, I was right. So, yeah, it does have practical uses against some bosses. Granted, it would require you to actually get paint from those bosses instead of just killing them. But it has practical uses if you were to get it. Which, you know, saves it. But given that it's only one use and you can only get it against very specific bosses, and one of those bosses it is worthless against. Yeah, I think it goes here. I like the hat though. I feel like it's better than drill just because drill is very awkward. Staff. I did enjoy staff, especially bluster staff in Star Allies. But I think it's only been in one mainline game, which is Star Allies. Points. That's a fair point. Yeah, I think I'll put it in B tier because I did have fun with Bluster Staff specifically. Animal. Better drill, and also Kirby's a furry now. I think since we've only had Animal in one game, it's a bit difficult to rate. But I think I get to put it. I think I'll put it in C tier. It feels like it's. Fursuiter confirmed. Kirby has the money for a fursuit. You heard it here first. I mean, I guess that's what Great Cave Offensive was about. Well, but yeah. Hey, Balloon. I have no fucking idea how to use this ability, and it felt like shit when I was using it in Canvas Curse. There's a reason this only appeared in Canvas Curse. I have no fucking idea. I do not care for this ability. I tried it. I didn't understand how to use it at all. It felt like shit in Canvas Curse. So yeah. But he stole his limbs. Yeah. I think I'd have to put it so far as the second worst ability. Bubble. It's very cute. I think it's very cute and fun. It does allow you to store, and like, if you can't find a copy ability essence for an enemy, you can use Bubble to help store that ability if you want to use it later. So it does have some practical use in that, but it's not the most useful thing otherwise. The Squeak Squad ability? Yeah. It's Squeak Squad the ability. And it's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but it's just kind of there. Ghost. It's a neat concept. But at the same time, it feels like it's very impractical. Like, if you're using Ghost, you're using it to have fun. You're not using it to play the game. You're not using it to win the game. You're using it for the fun of using it. Because it's a fun ability, I'll put it in D. But it doesn't really have that much practical use. Jelly. I guess that's fair. Jelly. It has only been in one game. We have yet to see how Jelly would perform in an actual game. However, it is pretty good in the one game it has been in. Like Wrestler, I don't think I can put it too high. However, Jelly gets bonus points for being the only thing in Dream Buffet that can dodge an enemy that has invincibility candy, which is immensely helpful. But we do need to see how it performs in future Kirby games, if it shows up again. Metal. It's funny, you'd think metal would just be better stone, but no, it's not. You are immune to damage and can move about, but it's basically that. It's basically just, it is only really used for puzzles, because it also massively hinders your flight ability. You can still do it, but it's very sluggish and slow, as is your normal movement. It is basically just significantly worse stone, but you can move around a little bit with it. Again, only really used in puzzles in Squeak Squad. You're not going to be using it against the boss. It's only being used for puzzles. Speaking of abilities only being used for puzzles, Mini! Very cute that Kirby becomes tiny, and I like that the official artwork has yellow as the main Kirby, with Kirby as the mini one. But it wasn't true. However, again, it is purely an ability that's used to solve puzzles. And it can't even really do any damage. So I think it has to go in F tier for that alone, even if it is very cute. Actually, yeah, no. Poison. I feel like poison is water, but can do damage over time, but I also don't really know. I think the surf attack is worse on poison, other than the fact it can leave behind, like, poison. However, poison can do pretty good damage over time. I don't really like the hat for it, though. But, yeah. I haven't used... The thing is, I feel like I haven't used poison enough to give it a proper ranking. Because I've heard it's, like, basically just super good. Well, water, but can do poison damage over time. But I don't really know. As much... Even though Planet Robot's my favorite game, this has only been in Planet Robot, and I have no idea how to... Like, where exactly to put it. I think I'll put it here. I think poison's pretty strong, but I don't really know what to do with it. I feel like I've never used poison in a boss. I think that's the problem. I have never used poison in a boss fight. So I have no idea if it's actually good against bosses. That's Spider. It was the basis for Tyranza coming back in Star Allies. But for the most part, I mean, it's okay. It is basically Star Allies, the ability. It's not bad, but it's not the greatest thing. That's something novelty though, because I think it actually has a really good block. Hold on. I could be wrong. Oh yeah, no it does. It actually has a really good block. And it can slam enemies. Yeah, the thing with it is, it can, like... It can stop any enemies. As well, main enemies. Wow, I say main... You know what I mean? Like, any enemies are trying to approach, if you have the webs out, the enemies will just get stuck in the webs and die immediately. It also has the fun friend bounce where people can bounce off of the web if you hold up. Yeah, no, I think it... We need it in more games, honestly. Given how many enemies we have a spider enemy in, we need it in more games. Wait, and now we're finally at Gun Kirby, or Ranger Kirby if you want to be vanilla. We're gonna call him Gun Kirby. Very fun. Well enough, I was too busy flinging sword beams at people to realize just how powerful Gun was against a lot of bosses. Especially the upgraded guns. And since this... Is this the only Forgotten Land exclusive ability in here? Actually, let me double check that. Oh wow, yeah, no, it was the only ability introduced with Forgotten Land. Damn. So yeah, I guess this is the only one we can judge with the upgrades. I mean, the upgrades are pretty good for it. I have to give them that. I never really used it to destroy bosses, but a lot of people, I saw a lot of people do it. And it was very strong. Especially if you're able to get the dodging down. Which, I mean, I was very good at getting the dodging down, but with sword, not, well, with sword and gun are doing the same, but, you know, I was very good with sword dodging. But yeah, most people I know use the Ranger a lot. It was definitely very strong when you got to Space Ranger. Which, honestly, Space Ranger, the shot was basically just spark as a aimed projectile. I mean, I guess they just spark then, but, you know. I think it definitely goes at least here. Notice how all the electrical abilities are in the same area. Also, Gun Kirby is fun Kirby. The sword. Fair. Is it really basic to say beams? It's funny because everything up in like S and A tier are like, oh, these abilities are really good. And then there's beam, which I'm just super biased to. That's funny. I guess you always gotta put your favorite somewhere. The Space Ranger, not Vanilla Ranger. Hear me out. Ranger. But you can do the Star Allies thing and make it elements. Well, to be fair, if they do bring Ranger back in its Vanilla Ranger, they'll probably increase the damage of it because odds are its damage was whatever because of the fact of because of the upgrading in Forgotten Land. But yeah, I think that'll be it for our copy ability tier. Let me grab that image. Elemental laser, that would be cool. But yeah, Lamau. But yeah, I think that's it for this tier list. There are some abilities that would, well, if they've been in more games, could be higher or lower, like that and that. Wait, oh, where's sand go? Oh right, yes, sand. Sand is insane. Sand would definitely be S tier because how fucking strong it is. Like, come on. Invincible block. Invincible attack out of block. Insane damage output with that. It would honestly, it'd probably be top 3. S is for sand. Like, honestly, I would call it better than Archer because Archer's super powerful attack is ranged. It doesn't have that invincible attack. Well, it does have a attack that you can do while blocking, but it's fucking piss damage. Which, I mean, is fair. But man, that's how you know Power Creep has gone too far. But yeah, no, Sand is super great. Sand 3, true. But yeah, editor puts Sand, like, here in post or something, I don't know. The joke is if I edit it, then I'm the editor. Even if I do edit it. But yeah. There we go. That's all 67.5 abilities are currently in the list. The sound's not actually here. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this tier list. I already saved the image. But yeah, goodbye YouTube.